If somebody walked up to you on the street and offered you $1,000 to answer a simple question, what did you spend last month going out to eat? Could you do it? What about on shopping or subscriptions? See, over 60% of Americans don't know how much they spend from month to month. And up until last month, I was one of them. If you're new here, my name is Chase, and this is my journey to financial freedom, going from 0 to 100K completely from scratch and showing you everything along the way. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how effective my first month of budgeting actually was. So here's the numbers. All right, so let's dive right into the numbers by comparing my first month budgeting with my wife, November, against our last month not budgeting, October. Little context, my wife and I are recently married. We recently started a joint bank account and combined our finances. Up until then, neither one of us had budgeted individually or together. And so we really decided it was time to take our finances seriously. So let's dive right in by comparing October versus November. So October, our largest spending category was $2,482, and this was in the car category. Now, this included everything from gas to car payments, a down payment for our new car. So that's why this one is so inflated. My wife's car is paid off. My car was having trouble, so we ended up getting a new car. We don't have a $2,500 worth of car payments or gas. That one is inflated. But to compare that to November, so $2,482 in October to November's $574. That's going to include gas, and that is also going to include charging for the Tesla. That's the new car that we got. This should go down. My apartment does offer free charging in my garage spot. However, I don't have access to that yet. I'm hoping to get it this week, so that should drop substantially. Then we can compare rent. This one's standard across the board, $2,252 in October. Same thing, a little bit more, $2,285 in rent in November. Main difference between there is our amenities finally opened up. We got access to our gym. Our apartment complex is new, so we got access to our gym, to our recreational room, to the pool. So that increased our rent a little bit more because our amenities just went up, but that should stay pretty static going forward. Groceries, $995 spent in October. This is just for my wife and I. My wife and I, this is an area where we will spend more than the average consumer, simply because we take our health and the food that we eat relatively seriously, but that is higher than what it should be. So we really focused on that and tried to bring it down some. So we went from $995 in October to $634 in November. So pretty significant difference there. Again, that's going to be a little bit higher than what could be achieved, but we spend money on quality food, grass-fed meats, organic produce, stuff like that. Shopping. So in October, we spent $718. That could be anywhere from Amazon to Target to in-store. That was a big category for my wife. That's not something that I fall into. I'm the one who bumps up our grocery number. So my wife really had to dial in and focus in on that, and I'm tremendously proud of her. In November, we ended up spending $483, and that was mostly me. I ended up spending about $270 on all weather mats for the new car. Keep it rolling. Restaurants, $574 in October. We enjoy eating out. We like good food, but this number was a lot higher than what we wanted. So we really focused on bringing that down, not down to zero. We enjoy eating out, and that's something that we would be willing to spend for, but we wanted to spend significantly less. So in November, we actually ended up bringing restaurants down to $85. So quite a significant difference there. We are super proud of that. We didn't really miss it. We ended up focusing on just cooking more gourmet meals at home. So after that, we have insurance, $312 in October. So that's going to include car insurance, renter's insurance, things like that. $308 in November. So pretty right on the money right there. Loans, $283. So my wife's car was paid off. My car had a $283 loan payment. So that went down to zero in November because we traded it in, got a new car, and our loan payment on that won't start until December. So we will see that in the next month's budget review. However, for the sake of the video and continuity, no loan payment in November. Other, so this is going to be just a general category, that a catch-all category. So like Venmo, stuff like that. Anything that didn't fall into anything else is other, and we spent $220 in that category. And in November, we spent $274. 4, we ended up having to purchase some additional things. My wife's in medical school, she just started, so there's things we had to get for that, and the expenses of life kind of fall into another categories. Gym, 185. So this is for me. My wife has a free gym at school that she goes to every morning. However, I could get away with, spending $0 on just doing my apartment complex's gym. However, to me, it's worth it spending $185. I go to a CrossFit gym, an Olympic lifting gym. That's something I really enjoy. And that allows me to meet new friends, meet new people. Being new to Denver, I don't really have much in terms of a social life, and my job doesn't provide that as well. So this is a category that I'm willing to spend additional for, just so I can meet new people, get out there, have fun. It gets me out of the home, and I really appreciate that 185. However, that is the same going into November. 185 was spent there. However, that's something that I'm really working to get down. I've talked with the owner of the gym. I have a lot of experience in fitness and in weightlifting, and I'm going to start coaching there to bring that down to $0, then hopefully make some additional money on the weekends when I coach. So that should go down and income should go up. Subscriptions, 116. Did not know we spent that much on subscriptions, from streaming services to apps, everything in between. So we brought that down to $71. Canceled a lot of stuff. That felt good. My wife ended up with spending like $11 a month for the past 4 years on an app she had never used. So track your finances. Utilities, 111. We keep our house cooler. That's just how we like it. That it's winter. That's where we bank all of our money because we don't turn on the heat. Our apartment is currently heating is set to 65. So if it drops below 65, it'll heat up. So we spent $85 in November on utilities, and I just paid my utility bill this month, and that's went down even further. Entertainment, $63. That was us like going to movies or going to do activities. And in November, we brought that down to $0. So to compare the total spend, in October, we spent $8,310 versus November, we spent $4,984. So about $3,400 saved from just tracking our finances. Compare income. In October, we brought in a total of $8,639 after tax. So this is broken down by my wife's monthly stipend. She gets $3,175.83 every single month. She's in medical school, but she's doing her MD PhD. So they actually give her a monthly stipend and pay for school. On the flip side, it takes her 4 extra years because it's 4 years of medical school and 4 years to get her doctorate. However, she does bring in money in that way. And then anything over that is from my job, which is variable. I'm in sales. So October was $8,639 versus November was $12,138. Started my newer job. I get paid pretty late into the selling cycle once a job is completed, and only spent $4,984, which means we brought a significant amount into our savings. Now, that brings us to our goal. We were starting completely from scratch. We really didn't have anything in savings, either one of us. We didn't have any credit card debt really or any loans. So it was kind of a blank slate. We spent a lot of our money. We got married. We had to move to a new state. We went on a honeymoon, and that brought us into Denver pretty well completely at $0. And so our first goal is to put $5,000 into a high yield savings account for our emergency fund. Just the month we had between October and November and tracking, we were able to put $4,000 just straight into our high yield savings account. So we are almost to that $5,000 goal. That's something we should hit this month pretty easily. In the words of James Clear, I highly recommend you read his book, Atomic Habits. If you haven't, I am rereading it again for the second time. It's one of the most influential books I've ever read. But just to leave you with a quote from him, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. For me and my wife, this is our evidence. These are the actions that we're taking every day to change and to solidify the identity that we will be financially free, that we are savers, that we are fiscally responsible. So I highly recommend you start tracking your finances. It can only go up. You can only make changes if you know what to change.